Hello, are you here to debate?
Yes, sir.
All right, what's your name, age, pronouns?
My name is Maximilian Barrett. I'm 24 years old, and I guess I'm a guy.
Okay. Do you mind if we call you Max so I don't have to type out Maximilian?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay, Max, what topic on the board are you here to debate about?
I see on your thing it says Christianity is terrible.
Yes.
So 2 years ago, I was homeless on the streets and battling addiction. There was a sermon who came into the homeless shelter and opened my eyes a little bit and enlightened me. Said, read the books of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and it'll give you the description of what Jesus did for me as an individual. I'm assuming you don't believe in God.
No.
But I just see in countless events in people's lives that if they authentically trust in God, put forth the actions that are authentically right and morale, and I see that their life will improve. And then the next thing is, I see that in society, people, they'll say they get morality from just society. And I find that in history, if you just get your morality from society, it could go left really quick, like Hitler and killing people.
Like slavery almost.
Crusades. Right, exactly. And that's what the Catholic Church did in the United States back in the day. They used religion to manipulate what is right and what is wrong.
Okay. So like if we don't have something like Christianity, then we would lead to like things like slavery and things like that if we didn't all collectively have that like set of morals.
Yes.
What about the fact that Christianity says slavery is okay?
Christianity did not say that. That was the Catholic Church.
No, that's in the Bible, in both New and Old Testament. New Testament is Christianity, right?
Verse.
Yeah, sure. I'll pull it up. Leviticus.
I follow God. I grew up in the Catholic Church, and that is called religion. And religion is something Jesus Christ came to this earth to demolish.
So wait.
All be unified.
So we wouldn't actually look to the Bible to tell us what is or is not moral under the views of God. Okay. So when the Bible says that slavery is morally permissible, then what?
It doesn't say that. It says that the slaves should respect their owners, but the context is different because back then a slave was like a doctor.
No, they weren't.
Anyone that would work for someone.
No. Incorrect. So specifically in Leviticus 25 verses 44 to 46, it literally says, Leviticus is the commandments God gave down to the Hebrew people about how they should live morally. In Leviticus, it says, your male and female slaves are to come from the nations around you. From them you may buy slaves. You may also buy some of their temporary residents living among you and members of their clans born in your country, and they will become your property. You can bequeath them to your children as inherited property and can make them slaves for life.
Right. But the context back then was different than what we call slavery nowadays.
Incorrect. Hence why it says that you can beat your slaves as long as you don't kill them.
I don't think it says you can beat anyone unless you kill them.
Want to bet?
Sure. If that's the chapter and verse, I'll look it up.
Great. Exodus 21, verses 20 through 21. Anyone who beats their male or female slave with a rod must be punished if the slave dies as a direct result, but they are not to be punished if the slave recovers after a day or two, since the slave is their property. So you can beat your slave with a rod, and if your slave does not die because they're your property, it's morally okay to do so.
You said Exodus 21, verse
20 through 21.
All right, 20 through 21.
Yep.
21. Describes the reaction of Israelites to giving the 10 commandments of the people, having witnessed thunder, lightning, smoking mountain, were terrified and stood at a distance.
I'm sorry, you're
Slaves, on the
reading
other
Exodus
hand,
21?
it says Exodus 20 verse 21. I Googled it, and
No,
this is what
Exodus
it's telling me.
21 verses 20 through 21.
Oh, Exodus. All right, I found it.
Anyone
Let me
who
look at
beats
it
their
real
male or
quick.
female slave with a rod must be punished if
Yep.
the slave dies as a direct result, but they are not to be punished if the slave recovers after a day or two, since the slave is their property. If slaves were just like doctors or anyone working, why would they be allowed to be beaten?
Well, I don't think it says you should beat anyone. I'm thinking what they're trying to say
It's
is
saying it's
that,
morally
you know,
permissible to
forgive.
beat someone.
You know who
Morally
Dr. Martin
permissible just
Luther
means
King
that
is?
God. Wait, hold on. Did you just say Martin Luther King?
Yeah, I was going to try and tie it into what he said about turn the other cheek to, you know, someone that's trying to harm or hurt you. I think that's what it's trying to tie into.
Okay.
I mean, it does say turn
Do
the
you-
other cheek in the Bible, too.
Okay. Do you know what it means for something to be morally permissible?
I do.
Okay. So this, by God saying that you will not be punished if you do something, that means it's morally permissible. So when they say that you will not be punished if you beat your slaves and they don't die, that's saying it's morally permissible to beat your slaves.
Okay, but I don't think he's saying you should beat your slaves.
No, he's saying it's okay if you do. He's saying it's not a sin to beat someone within an inch of their life if you own them and they are your property. That's not a sinful act.
But back then, a slave wasn't property. It was someone that would work for someone.
Slaves were quite literally property, hence why it says, and I quote, since the slave is their property. They use the word property.
Okay, so now I'm going to look up in the Bible anywhere. Does it say that a slave is like, what am I trying to say?
Does it say it's property? Yes. Leviticus 25, 44 to 46 also labels them as property.
Not that. Well, yeah, I get the reference. It's saying slave is property, but slave is not free-willed individual.
Them being a free-willed individual would have nothing to do with any of this because they're forced to be property.
No, they're not, because
yes, they are.
Let me Google it. Can I send it to you on your phone number?
You can just tell me what you're pulling up, and I can pull up the same webpage.
Okay, what was I talking about just then? My apologies, brother. What were we talking about just now?
Well, we're talking about the fact that the Bible permits slavery.
Right. All right. Where in the Bible? I'm just a little nervous. I don't really call people and stuff. My bad. Does it say? Oh, and I like Donald Trump too. Does it say it's okay to beat?
I told you where it says it's okay to beat your slaves. It's Exodus 20, verse 20 through 21.
I know. The covenant
I read
code clearly. Okay. It says the covenant code clearly institutes the death penalty for being a free man to death. In contrast, beating a slave to death was to be avenged only if the slave does not survive for 1 or 2 days after the beating.
So if they survive 1 to 2 days, if they can survive, then you're not punished for beating a slave because a slave is property.
Okay, but I think what you're trying to say is that it's okay to just beat the slave, and I don't think it's saying that it's okay to beat the slave.
It literally is saying it's morally permissible. You will not be punished as long as the slave does not die. That means it is okay to do. Otherwise, God would tell you don't do it.
No, it's saying that if the slave did not survive 1 or 2 or more days after the beating, it's okay to just let it go. And I think that's what we're talking about.
No, that's not what it says. That's you are misreading that wholeheartedly.
I'm in an ethics class, brother. in
You
college.
are not in an ethics class if you are not linking this chain together right here, or you're failing that
I
ethics class.
am. I
If
could
something
actually
is
tell you
morally
what college.
permissible, that means it is okay to do this thing. There is no immorality in this thing. God specifically
It does
says there
not
is no
say that it's
yeah,
okay
that
to
is
just beat someone, though.
something being yeah, of course it says wait, it specifically says it's not okay to beat someone to death. It says it's okay to beat your slaves as long as they don't die. If they do not die, this is a morally permissible action.
It does not say word for word it is okay to beat your slaves.
Anyone who beats their male or female slave with a rod must be punished if the slave dies as a direct result. But they are not to be punished. Not to be punished is them saying it's okay to do. If it wasn't okay to do, they would punish you for it. But they're saying you are not to be punished if the slave recovers because the slave is their property. They're saying because the slave is their property, they shouldn't be punished because it's okay to beat your property.
So it's not okay if they kill them, but it's okay if they
correct. I
just
never said it
injure
was.
them,
I never said, and I never said it was morally permissible to kill them. I said it was morally permissible to beat them.
I mean, but that's what it's saying. That's what you claim it's saying.
Nope. My claim was it's morally permissible to beat your slaves, not morally permissible to kill your slaves. Those are two different claims. And my claim from the start has been the Bible says it's morally permissible to own a person as property, and it says it's morally permissible to beat that person as long as that person doesn't die.
Okay, so as long as they don't die, it's okay, you're saying. That's what
No, the
saying.
Bible says it's okay. I don't think it's okay.
So
the Bible thinks it's okay.
Okay, so it's not okay to kill one, but it's okay to injure one.
Per the Bible, yes.
Sense, brother, if you just say that.
So your book doesn't make any sense, okay? That's totally fine. Like, if you want to admit your book doesn't make sense, yes, I agree.
It's context that you got to read it, and you got to read it in context, brother.
I'm sorry. I'm going to read this again and tell me what context it says you're not to be punished if you beat someone because they're your property. In what context is that ever okay?
Exactly. So why would it be okay to kill one?
Because the Bible says slavery is not immoral. The Bible is wrong here, basing your morality off of a system that says it's okay to own and beat slaves is kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it's wrong to kill and beat people. You're right. Whether they're
unless
gay,
they're a slave,
straight, lesbian.
According to your religion,
black, white,
according to your religion,
to beat people and kill them.
Unless they're a slave, according to your religion. Unless you're telling me that you just ignore parts of the Bible, if you're saying, in my religious text, I'm going to just ignore the parts of this I don't like.
Right. So there's another verse. Since you seem like a somewhat intellectual individual. 1 Timothy 2, verse 12, it's written by Paul. It says, a woman shall have no authority over a man. What do you think about that?
I also think it's kind of fucked up.
So you think it's bigotry, don't you?
Yes.
Well, what I think it is design and order. Do you think a woman can overpower a man?
Some women can overpower some men, yes.
Man.
Some women can overpower some men, yeah.
Some. Not all. Not
just
most.
like not all men can overpower all other men. What's the point you're making here? So this means women should be subservient to men?
Yes. That's design and order, how God created it.
Okay, so you've been brainwashed like crazy. So you believe that the order of the world should be that men are on top and women are fully subservient. And what do we do if a woman does not want to be subservient to a man?
She doesn't have to have a man. She can go and do whatever she wants on her own free will without a man.
But you think women should not be in positions of authority over men?
No.
That means that they would be subservient to men because they are not in positions of authority. Right. So again, you believe women should be subservient to men.
I'm not saying that they're not morally equivalent as an individual to a man.
I'm not making that argument. I'm saying you believe they should be subservient.
Okay. Right. So what I'm saying is if a woman design and order is more of a nurturer then a leader, I think the nurturer should be nurturing, like children,
Okay, what part of a
cleaning.
woman's biological makeup makes them a better nurturer than men? Like, what's the specific
Well,
thing?
they have,
Is there a gene?
they
Is there a
have,
nurturer gene?
yeah, I think so. They give birth
What
to
is it?
children, and they take care of them.
Yes, I'm
A
asking
lot
what
of
the
times,
what is the
men,
gene? What is the nurturer gene? Because science has never found this thing, so you must have
it's
some
not
level
it's
of
not
science
called
that
the
we don't.
nurturer's gene, but
So
if
what
you
is it?
look at it, a man can't have a child. A woman can. A woman nurses a child up to infantry by giving them breast milk and other substances, food.
Okay, this
What's
isn't
it
answering my
called?
question though. You've said that there is something inherent in women that makes them better nurturers. This would mean there must be some
Yeah,
biological component that's inherent to the woman, to the woman species. There must be some biological component there that makes them better nurturers. Better nurturers. What is that biological component? Because if it's just they breastfeed, men can produce breast milk. Men, like males, let me say it this way: males can produce breast milk, and scientifically, males can produce breast milk with enough nutrients that a baby can drink it. Right? It's very rare, and usually you have to be combated with like either you have an imbalance in some hormones, or you have like you go on like a regimen of specific drugs. But like this is a thing that scientifically has been shown to
exactly.
happen. So then what is the thing that's only for women? It's the biological part of women that makes them capable, or makes them better nurturers. What is that? What is that thing?
They give birth and they nurture the child until it can,
Okay, so the
have its
reason they
own
are better
freedom and take
nurturers
care
is
of
because
itself.
they nurture the child. So there is nothing inherent. It's just that we have them nurture the child, so therefore they're better nurturers.
Well, I mean, a man can't give birth to a child.
Okay,
Even if he
some
thinks
men
he's a
can.
woman, he can't give birth biologically
Some men can, but that's
without
besides
any
the point.
enhancing drugs or anything.
The question I'm
So,
asking you is what is so because they can give birth, this makes them better nurturers?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I
provide
think
me the
so.
link. Provide me the link in that chain. What is it about giving birth that makes them better at nurturing?
Well, I can't directly answer that, but I could go school teachers. Do you think school teachers should be majority male or majority female?
I don't care what gender a school teacher is.
Well,
I
do
could
you
care less.
think a male
Some
has
of
a better?
yeah, some of my favorite teachers when I was in school were men. Like I don't really care what the
Mine
gender
too.
of the
Mine
teacher were.
too.
All right, that doesn't really mean
Mine
anything,
too.
right? Like you're
Okay.
if
So,
you're
well,
making this claim and you're saying it is the case that women are better nurturers, you would have to point to a thing biologically that they possess that causes them to do this, causes them to be better nurturers. And it doesn't seem like you can point
well,
to anything biologically that does this.
okay. How
You're
about
pointing
this?
to social
They're
conditioning.
more emotionally intact than a man, so that gives
Women
them the
typically have a
better.
higher level of emotional intelligence, but that's not
Yes,
inherent. That's
yes.
socialization. They've been socialized to have higher levels of emotional intelligence than men.
But that's how they are. Regardless if what
No,
society is influenced
if
them to
you
do, that's
raise
what they are.
if you take a boy and a girl and you raise the boy in
Hmm.
a nurturing environment where they are taught emotional intelligence from day one, and you raise the girl in an environment where they're taught to stifle their emotions from day one, the boy is going to grow up to have a higher emotional IQ than the girl is. It's nature
Because
versus
that's not a
nurture.
controlled experiment. It's not a controlled experiment, brother.
That is quite literally a controlled experiment. What are you talking about?
So, controlled experiment is what something's meant to be. Like, a human's not like going to have a great reaction if he consumes processed food every day.
What?
He's going to get sick.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
Can you just give
yeah,
me a functioning idea? Like I don't think you know what a controlled experiment is. So can you just like tell me like at its base
I
level what
would
is a
if you could
controlled
stop
experiment?
interrupting me, please.
Well, I interrupt when you say things
Thank
that are
you.
so so unbelievably mind-boggling crazy.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, sir. A controlled experiment is something that's not affected by an outside source. Like, if you were to inject hormones in a man, that's not a controlled experiment because he's going to turn into a female. That's affected by an outside influence. A controlled experiment is something that's not affected by an outside influence.
A controlled experiment is when one or more factors are deliberately manipulated while all other conditions are kept constant.
Okay, that's exactly what I said. Just
no, it is.
words.
It's not what you said at all. It
all
is
right,
literally
nigger.
complete.
Fuck you.
Oh, there
not
it is.
Understanding. Bye.
There it is. There it is. There it was. But yeah, the Christian worldview is what gave you your morals, right? Yeah. This is not what he said at all. Thank you guys for watching. And shout out to my YouTube members. Their names appear on the side. Membership starts at $2.99 and gets you access to early videos, uncensored videos, and members-only content. Also shout out to Tier 4 member Yemye. Tier 4 members get to help choose debate topics, and their contributions go a long way to helping me create higher quality content for all of you. Remember to subscribe for your daily dose of leftist debates, and I'll see you in the next video.